Hey Internet, Eric here. Still October, still doing horror movies I've never seen for the channel, and this is a different type of a horror movie that I didn't expect, but it's horror nonetheless. I didn't expect it to be a horror comedy musical, but it's a basic retelling of Phantom of the Opera, so it counts. Um, we'll just get to it. 1974, Phantom of the Paradise. Now, if you're new to my channel, welcome. I discuss plot spoilers, specific scenes, what have you. This, of all things, was directed by Brian DePalma. That was interesting to see. Brian DePalma, Carrie, Sisters, Casualties of War, The Untouchables, Scarface, Phantom of the Paradise. This was directed before Carrie. Basic plot of this is we are following a man named Winslow, singer, songwriter, and he just happened to be caught playing at the piano one day, singing a song by a producer, I guess you would say. I think his name is Swan, played by, what is his name? Paul Williams, the singer, songwriter. He's best known for writing The Rainbow Connection from the Muppet movies. He's wrote a few Carpenter songs, Three Dog Night. He wrote the theme to The Love Boat. Very, very famous guy. What happens is basically he steals that song from his name Winslow, I said? Yeah, he steals that song from Winslow, uses to benefit, his career. And what happens is Winslow loses his mind, breaks into the record production company, causes havoc, destroys everything, threatens everybody. He is caught in the record printing press. His face is scarred, and then he disappears. Then he basically becomes the Phantom of the Opera, and he's hired by Swan. Swan knows it's him, hires him, makes him sign a contract to, hey, we'll play your music and everything, but I get the credit type of thing, blah, blah, blah. And then Swan seals him up brick by brick, after taking his music once again. Swan breaks out and then tries to kill him. Okay. I had never even heard of this film until I think it was episode 14 of Two Bearded Losers, and we did over 80 of them. Frenzy, this was one of his I watch every year of Halloween choices. I had never heard of this one, so eventually I knew I was going to get to it. I bought this sight unseen. I had a lot of fun. First off, Paul Williams. Okay, Paul Williams is like, I think Frenzy literally said it's like he's like his musical hero, and it was cool he got to meet him because Frenzy's a huge he's a musician. He's a huge Muppet fan. Like I said, Paul Williams wrote the Rainbow Connection. Frenzy got to meet him. Really cool. Got his autograph. He is really good in this. Paul Williams is right there. Paul Williams is really good. He's really low key in this. Real little guy, but he's got a lot of intimidation to him. The way he performs in this, you can tell that he's a guy you don't want to cross. He's got some charisma. He's very, very cold-hearted. I like how he's trying to, after Winslow has become the Phantom, and he's made Winslow sign this contract, write this epic opera, blah, 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 and he's keeping him awake, and he's pushing him, past, what he can do. There's a scene, there's a scene where Winslow falls asleep while writing, and Swan wakes him up, and he's like, here, have some breakfast, and he opens up a suitcase full of drugs to keep him going. And then after that, he gets the final masterpiece, and then he hires some guys to wall him up, So he goes like this happy-go-lucky guy, leaves the room, just snaps his fingers, and then his minions wall him up. So he's really good at being sadistic and evil, but also just being kind of funny, too. I didn't realize that this movie was going to be as goofy. I don't know if goofy's the right term because Goofy's kind of cartoony, but there is some slapsticky stuff in it. I'll get to that. The guy who plays Winslow, William Finley, he was in Sisters, another great De Palma movie. I like him too. I like him when he is this nice, happy-go-lucky singer-songwriter, super nice guy. And then I like him when he is the Phantom because he is really, really psychotic. He's wearing this goofy fucking mask. And his voice is changed, it's more robotic. So a lot of his acting has to be physical. and he's got a presence when he is the Phantom. You know, when he's choking people to death, swinging through the fucking balcony. I love the scene where Paul Winfield, that's his name, right? Paul Williams, excuse me. Paul Williams is he's gonna bang the girl, you know, the love interest, and he knows the Phantom's watching him from up top, and he's watching him, and the Phantom, you know, he this rage, like he just has one visible eye. There's the rage in his face as the girl he loves is gonna be banging the dude that's putting him through all this. So this actor was really really good. The love interest, her name is Phoenix. She is Jessica Harper. I guess she was in Suspiria. Never saw it, the original. She's there just to look pretty. She's fine. She's got okay chemistry in the beginning with, I'm off with these names, with Winslow. But she's okay. I like I guess you would say the assistant, you know, the big fat guy, the assistant to Swan. He's just this kind of fat asshole, you know what I mean? But he's charismatic. The only other character I think has any merit, which I wasn't a fan of really, is Garrett Graham. He plays a man named Beef, and he's just this over the top fucking glam rock star, super 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 gay. Like I'm talking like stereotypical lesbian. Remember 1974 gay guy, but I don't really like him in this one. He's the only one I don't care too much for because I think, and it's not, don't get me, I love a good gay joke, but I think it's a little too much. The stereotypes, it's too much all at once, and a lot of his moments are too comedic for me. Like when he's getting attacked in the shower by the Phantom, when they're recreating Psycho, and I think he's gonna get stabbed, but instead he's attacked with like a toilet plunger. So that kind of stuff is dumb. But I do like him when he's performing on stage. You know, the first time he sucks. First time I'm like, shit, if this is the way he's going to perform, it's going to suck. But the second time, when he's actually killed on stage, I liked him a lot. Let's get to what I was talking about, how I think it's really comedic. Once, how is it? What was I going to say? So what happens is Swan steals Winslow's music. Winslow goes to confront him. This is before he crushes his face and he destroys, you know, the whole record company, because what happens is he's arrested and thrown in jail for 6 months. And it's this goofy, he breaks out of prison, he attacks a guard, and he hides himself in a box and gets shipped out. Like literally the back of the truck pops open this box and there's no way this man can fit in, falls on the ground, he busts out, and like DePalma fashion, you know, a lot of it's sped up for comedic effect. So I thought this movie was going to be very, very slapstick. There's a lot of goofy stuff in between, like interaction in between Swan and the Phantom. Like he makes him sign this contract, and the contract is like this fucking thick type of thing, and it's a lot of goofy and fun dialogue. But the problem is the tone of this changes back and forth. You know, is it going to be goofy and slapstick, or is it going to be air quotes semi-serious? Oh, and then is it going to be is it going to be something like the Rocky Horror Picture Show, like over the top and monstrous themes? You know what I mean? So that was kind of hard to figure out what was going to happen next. But I think a lot of the slapsticky type comedy works. The music is so good in this. Other than the very last, I guess you'd say, use of music, which is funk, but it's 1974. That's just personal taste. A lot the glam music is fun. I mean, if you're a fan of Alice Cooper, my favorite scene is when like the opera starts and you have this band coming out that their face is painted. They make me think of the movie Fade to Black. You know, you've seen that guy with the white and the black face, or maybe Kiss. It's a whole like Alice Cooper like stage show. They're killing, air quotes, you know, not really, because part of the act. They have guitars with blades on the end of them, and they're cutting arms off and legs off of people in the crowd, and they're using them to build Garrett Graham. And Garrett Graham comes up like basically like I was thinking Rocky from Rocky Horror Picture Show, and it's this really good song, really good extravaganza. I like a lot. All these songs are great except for that funk. I really like, you know, this. If you've seen Brian DePalma, it's got all of his stuff. It's got that you've seen before. The split screen, the montages, the sped up action type of thing. I really like the montage when the Phantom's writing the music, and it's him at the piano, but then you got piano keys going in between each other like an X. That was really cool. Um, One thing I will say, I didn't like the funk music, but end, the end sequence when the Phantom is finally he's already killed one, he's killed Beef, in a really stupid cheesy way, like he hits him with a lightning bolt, prop, and he's electrocuted, and it's sped up like like De Palma's done in Carrie. Kills a camera guy, and then he gets involved, and he's trying to kill Swan, and it actually works with the funk. So that action scene works with the funk. When the funk's by itself, it's just kind of awful. Um, Gore isn't that extravagant because it's PG, but we do get some stabbings. I was surprised at how Swan, and I guess you would say the Phantom, is defeated. At first, here's a fake out. You think Phantom's going to die when Swan is going to bang Phoenix. You find out that's not going to happen because of the contract. So there's some supernatural stuff going on. And then they have a scuffle on top of the roof, and then Swan says, I'm also under contract. When that is revealed, that was a really cool moment of seeing, I keep forgetting his name, younger looking Paul Williams, because he's got shorter hair, he doesn't have the glasses, how that contract happens. And then at the end, when you find out, when that contract, how do I say this without spoiling too much? If Swan's contract is destroyed, then his true form is revealed. I like how he looked. That makeup where he was like burned and scarred because he wanted to stay forever young, type of thing. That was good. It was goopy. It was nasty. When we see the Phantom without his mask, it's kind of lame. You know what I mean? You get to see the lines of the prosthetic, but the Swan stuff was really, really good. That final, I don't know, 3-4 minutes of chaos when the Phantom and Swan and everybody's going at it. And there was an assassination attempt made on Phoenix. To that funk music is wonderful. I loved it. Overall, I recommend this one. If you're a fan of something like the Rocky Horror Picture Show, if you're a fan of, like, if you've been to an Alice Cooper concert and you like that type of music or those type of musicals, I do recommend this. Some people might turn this on and maybe once he becomes the Phantom, turn it right the fuck off. And I get that. I was having a lot of fun. I like the performances in this, other than Garrett Graham. And I'm a Garrett Graham fan. Child's Play 2. Stupid. He's been in so many stupid movies like Terrorvision. You know what I mean? He's barely in Chopping Mall, but he's in it. But I don't like him in this. Great soundtrack. Other than that funk. But again, like I said, it's used properly. The fact that this is a Brian De Palma film. If you're a Brian De Palma fan and you want to see a movie that's got some Brian De Palma tricks but doesn't feel like a Brian De Palma movie, check this out. Frenzy, I bought this sight unseen based on your recommendation. I don't feel like I was ripped off. I don't remember how much I spent on it, but it was probably like $12. I got my money's worth. Lots of fun. We'll definitely rewatch this. This would probably go well with a double feature of Rocky Horror Picture Show. Lots of fun. Highly recommend it if you're into that stuff. Mike from American Werewolf in New Jersey, you'd probably fucking hate it. So that's it. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe. Comment below. Have you seen this? Where would you put it on your Brian De Palma list? If you didn't know it was Brian De Palma and then you watched it, and then what are your thoughts about that? A couple more things scheduled for October. I've had to take a lot of things off the list because I'm too fucking tired. Almost doing daily content. A couple more things on the list for horror movies I've never seen for October. And then next month, I plan on doing Rocky. So that'll be a lot of fun. So like and subscribe, all that jazz. Cheers.